Since its invention in 1839, photography has shaped how we perceive and interact with the world, from documenting history to fueling consumer culture. Susan Sontag's On Photography offers a profound analysis of photography's psychological, social, and ethical dimensions, articulated decades before the digital revolution transformed visual culture. Today, with the proliferation of digital images, the rise of artificial intelligence in image creation, and the dominance of social networking platforms, Sontag's insights remain remarkably relevant. Her ideas, when applied to the digital age, help us understand photography's role as a control mechanism, its exponential growth, its function in social validation, and the challenges posed by AI-generated images. Sontag's assertion that photography is a form of control and power is central to her philosophy. She wrote, "To photograph is to appropriate the thing photographed. It means putting oneself into a certain relation to the world that feels like knowledge, and, therefore, like power." This idea resonates powerfully in the digital age, where social media platforms like Instagram, Facebook, and X have become spaces for curating personal narratives. Users select and edit images to present idealized versions of their lives, engaging in what describes as a social media violence of self-assertion. This aggressive framing, whether through glamorous selfies or carefully staged lifestyle photos, reflects Sontag's view of photography as an act of appropriation, where individuals assert control over their identity and how others perceive it. The democratization of photography through smartphones has amplified this control, enabling billions to participate in this visual economy. However, this power is not absolute. Users surrender some control to tech companies that manage these platforms, which curate and algorithmically prioritize images, shaping public perception in ways Sontag might have found concerning. Her observation that there is an aggression implicit in every use of the camera is thus doubly relevant, applying both to individual users and the corporate entities that govern digital visual culture. Sontag envisioned photography as a way to hold the whole world in our heads, as an anthology of images, a concept that has reached unprecedented scale in the digital age. With over 2.5 billion people wielding smartphone cameras, we upload nearly 2 billion photos daily, totaling approximately 657 billion images annually. This aligns with Sontag's idea that collecting photographs is to collect the world, but the sheer volume of digital images raises new questions about their impact on memory and perception. Sontag noted that photography had become a mass art form by the 1970s, practiced more as a social rite than an artistic endeavor. Today, this is evident in the casual, often unreflective act of snapping and sharing photos, from selfies to food pictures. The digital archive, unlike the physical shoeboxes of Sontag's era, is vast and accessible, yet it risks fragmenting memory into a flood of disconnected moments. Sontag's concern about the insatiability of the photographing eye is thus magnified, as the constant production and consumption of images may dull our ability to discern meaningful content, a problem she warned about in her call for an ecology of images. Sontag's analysis of photography in tourism, where photographs will offer indisputable evidence that the trip was made, that the program was carried out, that fun was had, extends seamlessly to social networking. On platforms like Instagram, users post images to validate a wide range of experiences, from vacations to daily routines, seeking social approval through likes, comments, and shares. This practice reflects Sontag's concept of aesthetic consumerism, where the need to confirm reality through images becomes addictive. Moreover, Sontag observed that photographs construct a portrait chronicle of family connectedness. In the digital age, this has expanded to include broader social circles, as users build online communities around shared photo streams. The act of posting photos on social media is not just about personal validation but about fostering a sense of belonging, albeit one mediated by digital images. This shift raises questions about whether these virtual connections replace or merely supplement traditional familial bonds, a dynamic Sontag might have found both fascinating and troubling. The validation sought through social media also ties to Sontag's insight about photography as a defense against anxiety. She noted that taking pictures soothes feelings of disorientation, particularly for those driven by a ruthless work ethic, who feel anxious about not being productive. In the digital age, the constant pressure to document and share experiences can be seen as a way to assuage anxieties about missing out or not living a notable life, reinforcing Sontag's view of photography as a psychological tool. Sontag's emphasis on photography's authenticity as a trace of reality, a footprint or death mask, is particularly relevant to the rise of AI-generated images. As speculated, Sontag would likely criticize AI images for their lack of authenticity, as they are created without the photographer's lived experience or personal vision. Unlike traditional photographs, which Sontag saw as direct imprints of reality, AI images are synthesized from data, lacking the human consciousness that she valued in photography. This detachment raises ethical concerns that align with Sontag's broader philosophy. She believed photography should reflect truth, even if mediated by the photographer's perspective. AI's ability to generate hyper-realistic images or deep fakes that spread disinformation would likely conflict with her ethical stance, as such images undermine the integrity of photography as a record of reality. For example, AI-generated images used in misinformation campaigns could manipulate public perception in ways Sontag might have seen as a betrayal of photography's potential to educate and inform. Furthermore, Sontag's view that photographs objectify, they turn an event or a person into something that can be possessed, takes on new dimensions with AI. The commodification of people and events through AI images, which can be endlessly replicated and without human intervention, raises questions about consent and exploitation, issues Sontag addressed in her critique of photography's moral implications. Sontag's poignant observation that all photographs are memento mori underscores their role as reminders of mortality. By freezing moments in time, photographs testify to time's relentless melt. In the digital age, our social media timelines, filled with images of notable moments, serve as digital archives that both affirm our existence and remind us of its transience. Each photo posted online is a snapshot of a fleeting moment, preserved yet destined to fade into the vast digital ether. This paradox, photography as both an antidote to mortality and a deepening awareness of it, resonates with our compulsive need to document our lives, as if to prove they are meaningful before they pass. The digital archive, unlike the physical albums of Sontag's era, is theoretically permanent, yet its accessibility and volume can dilute the emotional weight of individual images. Sontag's concern that images consume reality is particularly relevant here, as the constant influx of images may desensitize us to their significance, turning profound moments into mere data points in a digital stream. Sontag's call for an ecology of images reflects her concern about the overwhelming proliferation of photographs and their potential to dull our aesthetic and ethical senses. In the digital age, this concern is magnified by the ease of sharing images and their global reach. The viral spread of images, whether of personal triumphs or global tragedies, raises ethical questions about voyeurism, consent, and the commodification of suffering, issues Sontag addressed in her later work, regarding the pain of others. For example, the rapid dissemination of images of conflict or disaster on social media can evoke empathy but also risks reducing complex human experiences to clickable content. Sontag's ethics of seeing urges us to consider what we choose to photograph and share, and how these choices shape our understanding of the world. In the context of AI, this ethical framework is even more critical, as the potential for manipulation and misinformation challenges the very foundation of photography as a truth-telling medium. On photography remains a vital framework for understanding the role of images in the digital age. Her insights into photography as a tool for control, a means of collecting the world, and a validator of experience are vividly manifested in social media's visual culture, where users curate their lives for global audiences. Her concerns about authenticity and ethics gain new urgency with AI-generated images, which challenge traditional notions of photographic truth. The concept of photographs as memento mori resonates with our digital archives, which both preserve and fragment our memories. As we navigate a visually saturated world, Sontag's critical perspective encourages us to question the power dynamics, ethical implications, and authenticity of the images we create and consume. Her work not only illuminates the past but also guides us in critiquing the present, ensuring its enduring relevance in the age of digital images, AI, and social networking.